Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Naren Agarwal Show. I have with me today a very special guest, a guest so special that I know him for years. Somebody who is in the insights of the candy business in India. Can you believe it? I have with me my dear friend Vishal Nijhawan. Now, Vishal is working for Perfetti van Melle, which is one of the biggest candy companies in India, as a sales manager. He's had past experience working with Maruti Suzuki in the automobile industry, and he has an MBA from Symbiosis in sales and marketing. Welcoming my dear friend Vishal to the show. Vishal, how are you doing, brother?
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. I'm doing perfectly fine. The weather over here is beautiful. I'm in the city of love. I'm in Agra. So yeah, it's
आगरा में?
beautiful.
अरे वाह भाई.
Yeah.
Do you see the Taj Mahal hotel से दिख रही है?
Hotel se nahi dikhta hai, but yeah, I see it practically whenever I leave the hotel, I have to cross it to get to work.
Wow. And
Yeah.
Vishal, you are working as a sales manager and you're
Right.
you're based out of Delhi. You're
Right.
like, accommodation, but your main area of focus is UP. UP is the biggest state in India with the biggest
Right.
population. So
Right.
मतलब यूपी में आप कैसे कवर करते हो? कितना एरिया है जो आप अभी देखते हो?
Right. You're right to say that, yeah, UP's population is probably as big as a lot of other countries. So UP alone would be probably the fifth or sixth largest country in the world. That's how big it is. And that's after Uttarakhand got removed in the early 2000s. So the geography is massive. So I look after parts of Western Uttar Pradesh. So that starts at the border of Delhi and that goes up till Kanpur Dehat. So just one district before Kanpur. So, a few cities that it covers is Agra, Mathura, Aligarh, Bulandshahr, Hathras, Etawah, and Farrukhabad. Right.
Whew.
So, while I'm based out of Delhi, I travel often to most of these cities. So then again, you've got the urban split and then you've got the rural split. Most of the business over here is predominantly rural. So, about 55 to 60% of the business would be rural, and then 40% is what comes from the cities, from the wholesale markets in the cities, and from the route to market channel in the cities.
Yeah. So guys, just so that you guys don't get confused, so I also have an FMCG business background and Vishal is in the FMCG industry. आप लोगों को थोड़ा बता दें FMCG के बारे में. Basically, the way the fast moving consumer goods FMCG market works in India is that there is a manufacturer or the company and they sell their products to distributors. And वो distributors अपने warehouse में stock करते हैं माल and then they sell to retailers in the market. Like there is a town, वहाँ पे एक market, एक मंडी होती है, वहाँ पे लोग shops में बेचते हैं माल. And these distributors sell their products to the retailers, and then the retailers sell the products to the end consumer, the people who actually take the product and eat it. They're the consumers. So there's a big chain and channel. Now, in sales,
Right.
Vishal, who are you looking after? जब आप sales manager हो, तो आप क्या कर रहे हो? Where is your role in this FMCG chain in the candy business?
Right. So in the hierarchy of sales, I am the internal designation would be an area sales manager. So I look after a set geography, which would maybe entail a population of about 2.7 to 3 crore people. Right now, my job would be while it's as sales manager, I have to look after the sales as well as the distribution of the product. Right. So we have a lot of channel partners that are associated with us. They'd be the rural partners or the urban partners who who buy goods from the company, they invoice goods from the company, and then they look after distribution of these goods, maybe up country or within the city itself. Right. So yeah, I predominantly look after what we call primary sales, and then I look after our set KPIs with the objective of driving brands, not just one or two brands, which are the biggest ones, growing brands, and most importantly, placing the product and looking at avenues of getting repeat sales for those products.
Wow. So you are basically taking care of the primary sales, यानी कि company से to the distributor, the sales that's happening there in the mass. And then maybe you have a team who's taking care of the secondary sales, which the distributor is selling to the retailers, and they are taking care of all those things. What are some important metrics that you measure or you see to ensure that the secondary sales are happening well, like that your team is performing and doing their job well? What is like one metric that's very important to you as an area sales manager?
Right. So the most important thing is that in a lot of FMCG companies, the structure of the variable pay is based on the secondary, right? And for secondary to take place, primary has to get done. So as simple as अगर primary हो रही है, secondary भी होती रहती है, and कहीं पे अगर secondary रुक जाती है, फिर primary भी रुक जाती है, right? So the most important thing is there are various metrics within the company on the basis of which the variable pay is decided. So it's easy to monitor those in order to drive secondary. We do look at distribution. So when we look at distribution, we will try to look at the distribution of products in either the retail channel or the wholesale channel, right? And yeah, generally we track that. कहीं अगर कुछ कमजोर हो रहा होता है, तो then we get support from the branch, from the trade marketing team. कुछ अगर किसी pocket में grow करना होता है, so then we have insights which our beautiful Excel table gives us, and then we put that to action.
Wow. Now, Vishal, you are working for Perfetti van Melle, which is like an Italian-Dutch conglomerate. And India mein, just tell me about this company, because I think a lot of people have not heard about this company. They don't know about this company in India, but iske brands, लोगों के दिमाग ज़हन में बसे हुए हैं, like they're like Chapofied in everybody's mind. So what are the brands that Perfetti owns? And guys, if you don't know about this, you'll be shocked. So just hear it out. What are the brands?
True. So Perfetti van Melle is a house of brands, right? So Perfetti van Melle as a company may not be as famous as its brands. So, chota sa har ek wrapper pe you will probably see a small Perfetti van Melle written. But yeah, I was also pretty amazed when I learned pretty early on. I mean, this would be in the early 2016, 17s when I joined college, that the brands under the house Perfetti van Melle, I'm sure you've heard of Center Fresh, Center Fruit, Center Shock, Clorment, Dobara Mat Puchna, Happy Rent,
Alpenliebe,
Big Babool, Mentos, Chupa Chups Lollipops, Chupa Chups Extruded Jelly, Just Jelly, Alpenliebe, Just Jelly. So yeah, crazy amount of
Alpenliebe, Baba. Yeah. And bro, like the funny thing is Mentos. I think you forgot Mentos.
Right.
Bhai, like the ads that Perfetti used to do, all these brands used to do, like they're just iconic. Like Alpenliebe with Amitabh Bachchan or Big Babool. I think every kid growing up in our generation remembers this ad. Chidiya Rani Badi Siani Ande Diye Khas.
That jingle really stuck. And that's how you capture the share of mind of the consumer, right? Because I remember all these ads, okay, so vividly, and they're just funny. Like in 20 seconds, they communicate just so much, right? That every time you watch it, that ad is just equally refreshing. So even the Center Shock ad, where this gentleman has stepped in for a haircut, and uske muh mein bas ek Center Shock goes in, and after that you see. So yeah, pretty iconic. So every time I play these, oh god, it's a refresher. So very recently, I was Center Fruit made there was a collaboration between Jay Sean and Guru Randhawa, right? So they made an around Center Fresh features in that song. So it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah.
Wow. Man, it's amazing. Like, I think this was the back in the day, the non-social media generation where they used to make viral reels in some way with these ads, right? It was very innovative content marketing when you think about it.
Right.
And it's phenomenal that we don't even know about the name of the company, but all these brands like iconic have
pretty iconic.
Yeah, sent. So what inspired me to do this podcast, guys, is a very interesting post that I read. And me as an entrepreneur, I'm very interested to see how businesses are doing, how different industries are doing. And there was this post on LinkedIn that got viral on WhatsApp forwards. And the name of the post was Candy Brands Owned the Chutta. So usme, the writer, I think his name is Abhishek Patil, founder of GrowthX, he makes a point. He's saying that basically, before UPI in India, there is a United Payment Interface, UPI payments हो रहे हैं, तो उसके पहले लोग कैश में ट्रांजैक्ट करते थे and उसके लिए छुट्टे नहीं होते थे. So when they used to pay something in the cash, the shopkeeper used to give them a couple candies. Because of this, according to the gentleman, Abhishek, the toffee sales have really reduced and there is a steep decline in sales of toffee. Fast forward to 2020, according to him. So he was saying that nobody knew that UPI would affect the candy business so much. and never would have thought that finance would be a competition for the candy business. Now, whenever I hear such things, I always wonder, ki okay, this is an interesting point. It sounds very logical, but oftentimes there's more to what meets the eye. And so my instinct was to call Vishal and ask him, Vishal, you're in the candy business, man. Who better to ask than you? So, Vishal, I want to know from you, what do you think? What about the candy business? And do you think UPI has actually really affected the candy business, you being so up close in the candy business yourself?
Right, right. So yeah, an article by Abhishek Patil very recently went viral, where he has gone on to write paragraphs about how UPI has affected the candy business. Rather, I'd use the term digital payments, because digital payments, the penetration of digital payments has really shot up since demonetization, right? So its
Correct.
acceptance has really grown. Now over here, obviously in the article, I data has not been cited, right? Obviously, he wouldn't be incorrect to suggest that yes, there was a time when a lot of retailers would use candy as loose change, right? So they went a step ahead in the barter system, and instead of using coins, they coins may have been in short circulation, or that denomination may not have been available, or in order to make a quick buck, they would always use loose change. Now, loose change also is of different types. I mean, if it's branded, sure, the perceived value would still be close to 1 rupee. If it's not branded, then the perceived value would be a lot less, and even the customer would push back. Right
Correct.
now, while he is referred to candy sales over there as forced sales, I personally remember that whenever I have been in a situation in which I have been offered loose change in the form of candies, I think I've made it very clear that I don't want it.
Correct.
While this practice was ongoing, this practice was not the fundamentals, or this wasn't the foundation on which sales of candies stood.
करेक्ट, मतलब इस
Right.
भरोसे परफेक्टी तो नहीं था कि भाई लूज चेंज के भरोसे हमारा बिजनेस चल रहा है.
Any company for that matter, because
करेक्ट.
confectionery, sweetmeat is an impulse purchase, primarily an impulse purchase. So I think very few companies, I think none of the companies track how much loose change is being sold. Okay. So just confectionery in the sense, you could start at laddus. Laddu is also confectionery, right? A 2 rupee laddu, a 5 rupee laddu. So I'm sure a laddu was not offered as loose change. While the practice used to exist, I'm sure it used to be a very small part of the like you said, the forced practice of
करेक्ट.
using it as change. The second thing is that a lot of companies have actually grown, right? It's not like pre digital payments they weren't growing, but they were growing before digital payments, and they've been growing ever since also. In the article, he cites that in 2020, a lot of companies did not grow, right? They didn't grow with respect to 2019, not with respect to 2016, right? Because again, while it's an impulse purchase, while there's impulse purchase involved, you will see a lot of people had stopped stepping out of home, right? Schools were shut, point of purchase of confectionery had shifted, but there was no significant degrowth. Okay,
Correct. And almost
observed.
every industry suffered this dip. So it's not like it's
Right,
exclusive to candy business because
right,
of the
right,
lockdown.
right. And after that, 2021, 2022, in spite of one or two further lockdowns, one or two further jolts, the second wave and the third wave, despite that, all the companies have done really well. Right, in spite of the fact that you've had constraints when it comes to input costs of transportation have gone up, raw material costs have gone up. In spite of that, a lot of companies have done really well. I can't say for the local players, but at least all the branded confectionery companies have done well. Now, one reason for that is that while a lot of customers seek premiumization, right? So like they seek better products, they seek branded products, they're looking at safety now as a very critical aspect when it comes to the product, right? So if someone has a bounty of 5 rupees to spend, they have a range of decisions to a range of options to pick from. So you could have candy, you could have lollipops, you could have chewing gum, you could have bubble gums, you could have filled chewing gums, you could have laddus, you could have sandesh, right? So a lot of things to choose from. So a lot of people have really moved away from uh, uh, the local goods, right, or open goods that would be exposed to the elements of nature, and they've probably moved to a lot of premium products, or what they would deem are safer products.
Yeah. And in terms of like some numbers, could you share some numbers like as to how much do you think Perfetti has grown and how much you've seen Perfetti grow?
All right, so I can't share numbers as such.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Growth is double digits, so it's beautiful growth.
Okay. Wow.
Right.
That's crazy.
Like
So
this, like growth is not concerning, right? So
correct. Matlab, definitely the business is growing. And
right,
another thing I think interesting point here is that जो candy business पहले था जो ₹1 का candy predominant sale था, now
right,
people are coming up with bigger packs. Like I see Center Fresh, like ₹10 pack. Like you know it
right,
has multiple gums, kind of like Orbit. And then I
right,
see Chupa Chups like Lollipop. एक
right,
lollipop ₹10 का बिक रहा है यार, right?
right.
₹5 का,
पांच
₹10
रुपए
का.
का, right,
So the amount being spent, the billing ticket size of candy is also gone up. So
right,
even if maybe people are not using candy as loose change, I would also think that the business is going up because of the upselling in some way or
right,
the higher ticket
right,
size of the candy
right,
purchase. So
right.
even if people are using UPI, they are paying ₹20 for a candy, where back in the day they used to be ₹2.
True, true, true.
um,
And not just that, a lot of categories have grown. So I think back in the day, um, my impulse was probably to pick a chewing gum or a toffee, what we call toffee. लॉलीपॉप उस टाइम पे पिम्पॉम आता था, ठीक है, तो पिम्पॉम शायद इट प्रोबेबली वाजंट अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर. To some extent, soft candy may used to have marble, but just to imagine the number of categories that you have just in confectionery, and this does not include chocolates. Chocolates is separate. So you've got hard boiled candy, you've got soft candy, you've got chewing gum, you've got bubble gum, you've got functional gums, you've got lollipops, you've got center filled lollipops, you've got extruded jelly, you've got the
yeah, like
pelts
just
and the
jelly, जो
bites.
Alpelli भी आता है.
Right, right. Then you've got the chupa chup jelly as well. So you get them in the form of pelts and form of bites and tubes. You get mints. So you've got hard mints, soft mints. So you've got, I mean, the category. You've got a lot of categories within confectionery, and all of them are growing. You're also very correct to say that the high ticket sales have really gone through the roof, because again, you've got the 5 rupee category, you've got 10 rupee category, you've got 20, 30, 50, 100 big packs. स्कूल में बर्थडे पार्टी होता है, बर्थडे पार्टी नहीं बट बच्चे का बर्थडे होता है, तो बड़ा सा एक 100 pouch pack लेके जाता है. You've got 30 pouch packs which is for in home consumption, right?
Right.
So yeah, a lot of categories have grown, which is what is actually driving, which is why the companies are also doing very well, while still the foundation remains the 1 rupee category. Maybe there'll be a time when they move from 1 rupee to 2 rupees, because there was a time when 4 आने 8 आने का आता था, then from there they moved to 50 paise, from 50 paise to 1 rupee. In fact, there was one very small experiment that one of my mentors from Chennai did. So he was coaching me for higher studies, but he had worked with Mondelez, which is Cadbury. In 2001, they wanted to they probed ways of how they can improve the profitability, and what they suggested was that जो 50 पैसे वाला eclair है उसको 75 पैसे कर दो. जैसे इसको 75 पैसे किया, इन्होंने देखा कि यार सेल खत्म हो गई. तो क्या they went on to wonder that यार what is the problem. You did increase it by 25 पैसे, ठीक है, 50% से आपने उसका प्राइस तो बढ़ा दिया, बट एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी कहाँ नहीं आ रही है. आगे जाके देखा कि एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी कस्टमर के एंड से था. बेचारा रिटेलर था जो कहता कि आई डोंट हैव लूज चेंज, आई डोंट हैव
25
25%,
पैसे का चेंज नहीं
मेरे
है.
पास चेंज नहीं है वापस देने के लिए, एंड यू हैव टू परचेज एट लीस्ट 15, नो आई एम सॉरी, यू हैव टू परचेज क्वाइट एट लीस्ट 20 टू कम टू अ राउंड फिगर. 10 खरीदते तो 7.5 आता है, 15 खरीदो मतलब 20 खरीदो फिर 15 रुपए आता है. बोलते कि आफ्टर यू परचेज 15 probably तब जाके चेंज बनता है. Yeah, then they said let's do one thing, instead of scaling back and coming back to point 50 paise, let's go to 1 rupee. 1 rupee jate hi everything was beautiful after that. So you have to, it's just a lovely insight that you have to look at circulation of money. Also you have to look at the denomination of the currency that is being used, because suddenly if today any company decides to go from 1 to 1.5, then everyone is in for a fix because the transaction gets stalled over there.
Yeah, that's very interesting actually, because in such a cash-based economy, especially back in the day, like even
Right.
when we are doing products and I see around in the FMCG sector, पहले लेस का पैकेट 10 रुपए का आता था, 20 का आता था 10 साल
Right.
पहले. अभी भी वो प्राइस सेम है, अंदर से क्वांटिटी कम हो रही है, हवा ज्यादा आ रहा है.
Right.
Because if you go from 10 to 12 or 13, maybe it's more justified for the company because of inflation, but
Right.
people will stop buying. It will hamper the purchase because the price matters. We're not in the US where $4.59 में भी लोग कार्ड में पेमेंट कर रहे हैं. अभी भी
Right.
कैश बेस्ड इकोनॉमी है, and change becomes a big factor, right?
Right. Circulation. So while see the intent of the customer is there to purchase, it's a point of inconvenience for the retailer to give back loose change. So you can, even if you have Maggie 10 रुपए का आता था, they have had they've increased it to 12, 15 and all that, but then thoda sa problem aata hai. There is a little bit of issue when it comes to the retailer actually trying to make the change. So now over here, digital payments is actually beautiful, where when you're trying to make payments of denominations which may not be round figures, this is where digital payments actually is very helpful. Right. So agar tapri pe ja rahe ho and if you're buying something for 11 rupees, now you're not afraid of you don't have to look for one 10 rupee note and one rupee coin. If you don't have it, digital payments is helpful over here.
Wow. Brother, one last point I want to cover about this whole candy business being affected by UPI. You brought to my notice that the cigarette and the candy business is very related. And जब तक लोग cigarette पियेंगे तब तक candy sales भी चलेगा. Can you please share more insight about that?
So I won't call it candy. See, we've got a few companies have one portfolio which is the refreshment range.
Correct.
So you don't just refresh after a smoke, you refresh just I think it's a practice in the USA, where if your breath is a little foul, you may be offered chewing gum. Right.
Yeah.
Over there, obviously, chewing gum is a part of the habit. Like people actually carry chewing gum and they don't go to purchase 1 rupee chewing gums, right?
Correct.
So refreshment is very important, right? So you
Correct.
may refresh in any form. You may refresh after having a really an onion-based lunch or dinner also, right? Because you don't want anyone opposite you feel uncomfortable.
Correct. Nice. That's a very interesting point. So जब तक refreshment and especially like, see, I have friends who smoke cigarettes etc. तो मैं देखता हूँ सिगरेट पियेंगे वो और उसके बाद कुछ ना कुछ एक कैंडी एक रिफ्रेशमेंट चाहिए उनको मेंटोस या कोई मिंट so that
Something strong, yeah, to
that
change
smell does not go, especially in the
right.
Indian context. Like people are really conscious about them smelling like cigarettes in front of elders. Even now, it's still there in front of
Everywhere.
family members.
Not just that, at the workplace also. So you don't want to, I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people, it's mandated at a few workplaces also that you don't want your colleagues to feel uncomfortable, right? So if you have a really strong smell of either this or not just cigarettes, I mean, a lot of places that I have been to, be it Uttar Pradesh, be it in Assam, be it in Gujarat, they pan masala is consumed, right? And pan masala also has a strong smell, right? So
Correct.
just to mask that smell, you need something in the form of refreshment. So that could not only be just a refreshment from the confectionery range, it could also be पास का सौफ आता है रेस्टोरेंट में निकलते तो मिश्री और सौफ रहता है राइट तो मिश्री एंड सौफ मिक्स कैन एक्चुअली चेंज द टेस्ट or the flavor for the person consuming it and at the same time जो सामने है वो बेहोश नहीं होगा
बेहोश नहीं होगा brother coming to a different point now
yeah
big babool बचपन में यार बहुत जबरदस्त था and that was the you know chewing gum जिसमें ना वो हम लोग फुलाना सीखते थे you know the bubble we used to blow the bubble and it used to burst because that was the best quality to blow the bubbles. I tried other chewing gums and never could make that bubble well. But Big Babool was like really amazing. Like it's like sometimes the bubbles used to be so big you would think like you'll fly up, like the chidiya in the ad.
And
what happened to Big Babool, man? What did you guys do?
You'll find it beside you. Big Babool is back.
Big Babool is coming back. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's back. So you'll see it now. Now it'll come into you. Amongst, I mean, एक retail space में obviously काफी clutter रहता है, but now that I pointed it out, I'm sure you'll find it uh, it will now stand out. But yeah, Big Babool is
Big
back.
Babool is going to be, guys, those who are in India, just get excited. Big Babool वापस आ रही है. भाई वो बंद क्यों हुआ था यार? It was such a successful, like in my head, bubblegum. I mean,
Right.
ad भी इतना अच्छा था. It was so viral, that ad. I don't think there's been an ad like that in
Right.
India. Why was it shut? Do you know about it, or?
So it wasn't shut. Um, it does very well in the south, right? I'm not sure why it was temporarily stalled in the north, but it continued to be made and sold in the south. Obviously, there are some constraints with regard to production capabilities. Production line hota hai, wo mere khayal se that was in the factory down south, and then obviously there's a set amount of the product that you can probably produce. So those were a few challenges, and I think now they've overcome these challenges, which is why Big Babool is back.
Wow, guys, this is the best news we've heard in a while about Candies, huh? Big Babool is back. Let's get ready.
Yeah. But yeah, just to be fair, it never went anywhere. But yeah, in certain pockets, it was actually
withdrawn or maybe reduced in
Yeah.
supply. Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Coffee interesting. But just generally, like, I mean, you're also in the FMCG business. Just, distribution is just, I mean, every day is you get to learn something new about distribution, right? Because we are serving cities very well, but the further you move away from the cities, challenges increase, and then you've got a lot of innovation when it comes to how you can distribute. So whether you distribute yourself, whether you distribute through a super stockist, whether you look at small wholesalers that you get in touch with, or you piggyback on a lot of companies that are solely based on premised on distributing up country. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, like I think लोग सोचते हैं कि मैं बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना लूंगा ना तो वो बिकेगा. Like even now I'm seeing people say like, oh, I have this phenomenal idea, I'll create this great product. But I think people need to realize that making a product is something else and distributing it is a whole different ball game, and it's probably more important than the quality of product in many cases. कि आपका क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट अगर ठीक ठाक भी है ना, of course it shouldn't be sucky. ठीक ठाक भी है ना, and if you have excellent distribution, you are much likely to do much better than if you have an A-class product with a medium distribution.
Right.
And
P. So product, place, price, promotion. So you have to look at all of these things, right? And obviously promotion, to chalo theek hai, but place mein you have to look at being present at the right places. So obviously, with someone selling sweet meat may not sell sweet meat off a chemist counter, right?
Yeah.
To be present at the right places. So you can't sell cooking oil at a sugar and spice, right? But you can sell bakery items at a sugar and spice. So yeah, I mean, that is very, very interesting. And obviously the industries are like, I mean, what I witnessed in the company is not just when it comes to the product, it's innovative with its communication, with its packaging, with the way it distributes. So yeah, innovation is quite practically all around. So it's pretty interesting.
Brother, I would like to expand on the point that you just touched. You said कि शहर में तो ठीक है, but when you go to the rurals, the distribution game changes. A lot of us, हम लोग शहर में बैठ के देखते हैं Alpenliebe तो पूरा इंडिया खाता होगा. What would you say, like according to your estimate, or if you know, जो branded candies हैं उसका bifurcation इंडिया में generally क्या है? Like what kind of people are having these branded candies like Alpenliebe or branded sweetmeats, and local candies भी बहुत बिकते हैं, you know, that aam papda kind of packets and all those things.
Right.
So what would be the bifurcation?
So this will be about, I mean, there is no set study, but various methodologies have been used, and they've arrived at a ballpark figure of about 20%. So 20% would probably be organized, and the remainder of it is local. So 20 to 25% would be organized, and the rest is all the local candies.
Holy cow! Wait. 20% is like branded companies, and you're saying 80% is local candies.
Yeah.
Guys,
25%. It could be as much as, it could be as low as 15% to 10% also, but the methodology that was probably used suggested that is this much. But obviously, local players I won't say strong because you've got pockets where you have different local players, but then again, candy or confectionery items is something that can be churned out in a small facility also. So you don't have the greatest quality of products. You'll have probably twist wrap products and all that. But yeah, if you do step out once, just take a look. All counters may not have branded products. Rather, there'll be a lot of
Especially in the
counters.
rural areas. See, this is what I
Yeah,
think people get hung up upon, right? People say ki, oh, meko ye business mein jana hai, how can I enter? Like, but people don't realize that India is such a vast country.
yeah,
There's like 140 crore, 150 crore people. And you're saying a company like, a company that manufactures Alpenlibe and Mentos, wo companies and other such companies, maybe they have penetrated 20% of the market, 30% of the market,
even lesser than
70%,
that. Yeah,
even lesser than that. 70% market abhi bhi itne local area se chal raha hai. And
right,
that's the beauty and power of India. Like, can you believe it? And there's a lot of opportunity and room for growth and entrepreneurship
right,
everywhere. It's not that
right,
because there's a brand there, someone else cannot come and enter. Just like
right,
Pulse did, man. Like Pulse was
right,
such an innovative candy. वो
right.
आया अचानक से एक नया कैटेगरी उसने क्रिएट कर दिया ऑलमोस्ट
True,
राइट
true,
कच्चा
true.
आम filled with like some jaljeera sort of thing and I
Filled with the
thought
masala, right?
filled with a masala
Yeah,
that was a
true,
phenomenal innovation in the candy business.
true, true. So
Yeah,
yeah, innovation can be product specific. Like I said, innovation can be in communication. Innovation could be in the form of your packaging because एक time था जब a lot of the candies used to come twist wrapped, right? But then that can lead to a lot of pilferage when it comes to moisture and all that. So then you innovate how you can brand your product, how you can pack your product, innovation in terms of how you can make your product visible in the retail space. So काफी interesting है. There's always headroom to try something new, to at least yeah try to be more visible or try to offer something which is just pretty unique.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Vishal, thank you so much for your insights. I have one final question for you before you go. What's your favorite candy?
For me, my favorite right now. Initially, शुरुआत में तो Center Fresh होता था. Started with Center Shock because it used to be fun to give someone a jolt. Then obviously Center Fresh, but right now I'm just fond of Sour Candy. I just love
Sour
sour
candy.
candy. So when I say sour candy, it's something called chupa chups. So sometimes when I come back, also I think this was last year. I brought a full display of chupa chups sour candy, and I kept it downstairs during. Rather, I sent it downstairs with Papa during Durga Puja. Now Papa took it thinking, it's for the kids because the rest of us will lead bhog. I think everyone enjoyed it. I mean, people
Yeah,
across ages really enjoyed it. But yeah, I
yeah.
love sour candy.
I think that yeah, that's a relatively newer idea in India. मैं जब
Yeah.
अमेरिका में था तब people used to eat a lot of these candies called Sour Patch Kids, which is kind of a similar thing.
Right.
But sour candies are actually very interestingly put new
Yeah.
candy in India. Uh,
Right.
when I was a child, I remember I really enjoyed these two toffees. One was called Rabbit Toffee. I think it used to come from some Southeast Asian country. I don't even know where. Like I don't know which country. And it was called Rabbit Toffee. It was all white, a little milky, and it had
All
a rice
right.
paper wrapped around it, and it was twisted.
Right.
Yeah, so that
Twist
was
trap.
really
Yeah.
tasty. Yeah.
Right.
And another one that I really enjoyed was Fox Mints.
Oh
Fox
yes. Oh
candy, and its
yes.
mints were amazing, man. Fox mints were
उसमें दो टाइप्स आते थे तो एक डब्बा होता था दैट वाज जस्ट द आइसी मिंट्स एंड एक होता था द ब्लूबेरी फ्लेवर द बेरी
mix.
फ्लेवर ओ ब्यूटीफुल मैन वो
Yeah.
बिल्कुल बिकॉज वो डब्बा कभी भी घर पे खुलता था तो देन ऑब्वियसली ऑन द स्लाई फिर हाथ अंदर जाता था जितने आते थे निकल जाते थे ठीक है एंड देन वो फिर छुपाया जाता था कि नाउ एटलीस्ट यू डोंट हैव टू टर्न टू द अथॉरिटी इन ऑर्डर टू गेट वन और टू आउट यू ऑलरेडी टेकन योर यू केप्ट योर फिक्स विद यू
एग्जैक्टली एंड फॉक्स वो प्रीमियम कैंडी था वो दुकान में ऐसे मिलता नहीं था वो मम्मी पापा जब खरीद के लाते थे बाजार से या कोई गिफ्ट में आता था तभी लाया
गिफ्ट में
जाता
भी आता था राइट 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 oh goodness me so just
अमेजिंग
I mean just from top of my head, can you remember any other candy? I mean, apart from the twist trap one, and apart from Fox, any other candy that you can remember that I'm sure I'm missing a lot of candies, but is something that you can remember which is iconic, which has probably stayed with you?
आई थिंक मैंगो बाइट
Yeah,
पार्ले का मैंगो बाइट बहुत जबरदस्त था एंड दैट वाज क्लासिक ऑलवेज wrapped up in that way.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
mango bite was very
True,
trendy back in
true,
the day. Yeah,
true.
that's one that I can remember.
Nice. And have you ever come across? Uh, chewing gum, which was in the form of a Spyro, in the form of a roll.
Oh yes, that got really hype when at a certain point. Yes,
Yeah.
what was the name of that?
So वो सारी कंपनी निकालते
It
थे.
used to be the cool thing to do because like you could pull it
Just
out and
pull
it
it
was a
out.
spiral thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
actually very innovative. I
yeah.
forgot about that.
Right. So वो भी I think a lot of countries, you still have it in a lot of countries. In fact, जब मैं when I'd gone to recently Turkey में, तो वहाँ पर obviously पान के टपरियाँ नहीं है, right? So where do you, and obviously they don't sell the 1 rupee candies. So I was standing at a shawarma joint, and वहाँ पर I just happened to glance over the counter, and वहाँ पर there's candy, there was, and I felt so beautiful to see कि वहाँ पर Big Babool है, वहाँ पर Happy Dent नहीं है, but they have something called Vivident. I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. So I picked up a handful just to bring back. Obviously, they are slightly bigger packs. I'm like, yeah, this is beautiful. So I think impulse is the same everywhere. एकदम
That's so
कैशियर के सामने विजिबल अगर रहता है तो तुम उठा लेते हो, वो ऑटोमेटिकली हाथ चला जाता है वहां पे कम वर्ड में.
that's
राइट.
the placement part. Right.
राइट.
Awesome. Vishal bhai, thank you so much for coming, sharing your insights, and I think the post that inspired the podcast, I'm thankful for that post, even though it made me realize that there is more than meets the eye, and you can have a point of data, but the meaning you extract out of it can be totally different based on where you're looking from. That was a great insight for me as an entrepreneur and a podcast host.
Right.
Brother,
Right. No, pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine that I got to come on the podcast. So yeah, and I keep following it. So I keep posting comments from time to time. I always miss. I generally miss the 9 o'clock podcast on Instagram on the Monday mornings. So I always get an update. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm very pleased to have made it here. Thank you so much.
thank you for joining, brother. Much love to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a very good day. Have a good day to all the viewers also.
Hello and welcome again. I hope you really enjoyed this podcast. If you did, share it with one person that you can help. जिसको इससे मदद मिले. And if you like this podcast, you want such more insightful information and knowledge, check out the other podcasts right here. I will see you very soon in another episode.